Have you ever paused to consider that everything you perceive, everything you touch, see, and experience might be fundamentally different from what you believe it to be? Take a moment right now. Look around you. The solid objects, the vibrant colors, the seemingly fixed reality that surrounds you. What if I told you that this perceived solidity is merely an illusion, a limited interpretation created by your senses from an infinite sea of possibilities? This isn't science fiction. This is the revolutionary understanding emerging from quantum physics, a paradigm shift that doesn't just change how we view the universe, but completely transforms how we understand our place within it and our ability to shape our lives. We've been conditioned to believe that we are passive observers in a fixed reality, that the world happens to us rather than through us. But what if the truth is precisely the opposite? What if you are not just an observer, but a powerful co-creator of your reality? What if your consciousness, your thoughts, emotions, and intentions are the very forces that shape the world you experience? Today, I invite you on a transformative journey. Together, we'll explore the extraordinary intersection of consciousness and quantum reality. You'll discover how the thoughts you think and the emotions you feel aren't just passive reactions to your environment, but powerful creative forces that literally shape the world around you. By the end of our time together, you'll understand not just intellectually, but experientially how to access the quantum field, the infinite source of all possibilities, and harness its power to manifest the life you've always dreamed of living. Picture the chair you're sitting on right now. It appears solid, unchanging, and completely separate from you. This perception forms the foundation of how most of us navigate through life, believing we exist in a world of fixed, independent objects that would exist whether we were here to perceive them or not. But quantum physics tells us a profoundly different story. At the most fundamental level, that chair isn't solid at all. It's composed of atoms that are 99.999.999% empty space. And even the subatomic particles within those atoms aren't really particles in the way we imagine them. Tiny billiard balls floating in space. They exist as probability waves, fluctuating patterns of energy that only take definite form when observed. In other words, matter as we know it, the entire physical world, is actually a dynamic dance of energy vibrating at specific frequencies. Nothing is truly solid, nothing is truly separate, and perhaps most revolutionary of all, nothing exists independently of consciousness. The pioneering quantum physicist Max Planck put it this way: I regard consciousness as fundamental, I regard matter as derivative from consciousness. We cannot get behind consciousness. This isn't abstract philosophy, it's the cutting edge of physics. The implications are staggering. If matter itself is fundamentally energy, and if consciousness influences how that energy manifests, then the boundary between out there and in here dissolves. The distinction between observer and observed becomes blurred. You are not simply perceiving a pre-existing reality, you are participating in its continual creation. Consider for a moment what this means for your life. The limitations you've accepted, the boundaries you've respected, the rules you've followed. How many of these are simply artificial constructs? How much of what you believe to be fixed reality is actually a malleable energy pattern that responds to your consciousness? Our physical senses detect only a minute fraction of the energy spectrum that exists. We see a narrow band of visible light. We hear a limited range of sound frequencies. What we call reality is merely the tiny slice of existence that our biological equipment can process. Beyond the narrow bandwidth of our senses lies a vast, invisible field of energy and information, the quantum field containing all possibilities, all potential realities simultaneously. When you truly grasp this, you understand that what appears as solid reality is actually a temporary manifestation, a crystallization of energy patterns from this infinite field of possibility. This isn't just fascinating information. It's the key to liberation. Once you understand that the physical world is not the rigid structure you've been taught to believe in, but rather a fluid, responsive energy system that interacts with your consciousness, you begin to see yourself not as a powerless speck in an indifferent universe, but as a creative force with the ability to shape your experience. The chair you're sitting on, the room around you, the circumstances of your life, all of these are not fixed, unchangeable facts, but dynamic energy patterns that are constantly responding to the frequencies you emit through your thoughts, emotions, and intentions. This is the revolutionary truth that quantum physics has revealed. Reality is not happening to you. It is responding to you. If the physical world we perceive is merely energy vibrating at specific frequencies, then what is the source of this energy? Where do these possibilities originate? before they crystallize into our experience. Scientists call it the quantum field, a vast, interconnected web of energy and information that permeates all of existence. Ancient wisdom traditions had many names for it: the Akashic field, the universal mind, the divine matrix. Regardless of what we call it, this field represents the true foundation of everything we experience. Unlike the physical world with its apparent limitations of time and space, the quantum field exists in a state of pure potential. Within it, all possibilities exist simultaneously. It is unbounded by time, past, present, and future all coexist. It is unbounded by space, distance becomes meaningless, as everything is connected at this fundamental level. The quantum field is not somewhere out there, it is everywhere, including within you. You exist within the field, and the field exists within you. There is no separation. This is not mere metaphysics. It's supported by the phenomenon of quantum entanglement, where particles once connected remain instantaneously linked regardless of distance. Einstein called it spooky action at a distance, but it's now been experimentally verified countless times. At the quantum level, separation is an illusion. Everything is fundamentally connected. What does this mean for you? It means that you are not isolated from the world around you. Your consciousness, your thoughts, emotions, and intentions doesn't stop at the boundary of your skin. It radiates outward as electromagnetic energy, interacting with and influencing the quantum field. When you understand this profound connection, you realize that the quantum field is essentially a cosmic canvas waiting for your creative input. It is responsive to consciousness. It takes the imprint of your focused attention and intention, and then reflects back to you corresponding experiences and circumstances. This is why ancient wisdom traditions have always emphasized the power of intention and attention. Where you place your attention, you direct your energy, and energy follows attention, manifesting as experience in your physical reality. Consider the implications. If the quantum field contains all possibilities, and if your consciousness influences which possibilities materialize in your life, then the limitations you experience aren't inherent in reality itself. They exist primarily in your own awareness, in what you believe is possible, in what you expect to see reflected back to you. This is not to say that you can simply wish for anything and it will instantly appear. The process is both more subtle and more profound than that. It's about understanding that reality formation is a collaboration between your consciousness and the quantum field, a dance of energy, intention, and manifestation. The quantum field doesn't discriminate. It doesn't judge whether your desires are good or bad, whether you deserve them or not. It simply responds to the vibrational frequencies you emit. Like a perfect mirror, it reflects back to you experiences that match your predominant thoughts, emotions, and beliefs. This is why mastering your inner world, the realm of your thoughts and emotions, is so crucial. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, sends ripples through the quantum field, attracting corresponding experiences back to you. When you live unconsciously on autopilot, your thoughts and emotions are largely reactive, shaped by past conditioning and external circumstances. You become caught in cycles of creating the same experiences over and over again. But when you become conscious of this creative process, you gain the power to intentionally shape the signals you send to the quantum field. This is the true meaning of empowerment, not forcing or controlling external reality, but mastering your inner reality. When you change from within, the world around you changes in response. The quantum field is not just a scientific concept, it's the very canvas upon which you paint your life experience. And consciousness is the brush with which you create. Let's explore more deeply how your consciousness interacts with the quantum field to shape your reality. Every thought you have, every emotion you feel, generates an electromagnetic frequency. These aren't abstract concepts. They're measurable energy patterns. Scientific instruments can detect the electromagnetic fields generated by your brain and heart. And these energy patterns don't stay contained within you. They radiate outward, interacting with the quantum field. When you think about something, whether it's a goal you want to achieve, a relationship you desire, or a problem you want to solve, you're not just having a private, internal experience. You're emitting a specific frequency into the quantum field. If that thought is fleeting and casual, its impact may be minimal. But when you focus intensely on something, especially when you combine that focus with strong emotion, you create a much more powerful, energetic signature. This is why clarity of intention is so crucial in the manifestation process. The quantum field responds precisely to the signals you send. If your thoughts are scattered, contradictory, or unclear, the field can only return scattered, contradictory, or unclear results. But when your intention is focused and coherent, you create a clear template in the quantum field that begins to attract corresponding circumstances and opportunities. Think of it like tuning a radio. When you dial in a specific frequency with precision, you get a clear, strong signal. If your dial is between stations, you get static and interference. Your consciousness works the same way. The clearer and more coherent your frequency, the clearer the response from the quantum field. This explains why some people seem to effortlessly attract positive experiences, while others struggle despite their best efforts. It's not about luck or favoritism from the universe. It's about the coherence and clarity of the signals they're sending to the quantum field. The quantum field doesn't distinguish between what you want and what you don't want. It doesn't recognize negation. When you focus intensely on avoiding something you fear, you're still focusing your energy on that very thing, inadvertently strengthening its pattern in the quantum field. This is why many spiritual traditions emphasize focusing on what you want to create, rather than what you want to avoid. This principle extends beyond momentary thoughts to your underlying beliefs and perception. Your core beliefs about yourself and the world act as a filter through which you perceive reality. If you believe that success is difficult or that good things don't happen to you, these beliefs create energetic patterns that the quantum field faithfully reflects back to you as corresponding experiences. The good news is that these beliefs are not, they can be consciously examined and transformed. When you change your perception, how you fundamentally see yourself and the world, you change the frequencies you emit, and thus the experiences the quantum field reflects back to you. A simple shift in perspective can completely transform your reality, because it changes the energy you project into the field. When you reframe a challenge as an opportunity, when you choose gratitude instead of resentment, when you respond with love instead of fear, you're not just changing your subjective experience, you're literally changing the energetic template from which your physical reality emerges. This is why so many spiritual traditions emphasize presence and mindfulness. When you're fully present, you gain conscious control over your thoughts and emotions, rather than being driven by unconscious patterns and reactions. This presence gives you creative power, the ability to deliberately choose which frequencies you emit into the quantum field. Remember, reality is not happening to you, it is responding to you. Your consciousness is not a passive observer, but an active creator. Every thought, every emotion, every belief is a brushstroke on the canvas of your life. The more conscious you become of this creative process, the more deliberately you can paint the masterpiece of your existence. While your thoughts shape reality by directing your energy towards specific possibilities in the quantum field, it's your emotions that amplify this creative process, giving your thoughts the power to manifest in the physical world. Scientists have discovered that the heart generates an electromagnetic field that is up to 5,000 times stronger than the field generated by the brain. This powerful heart field extends several feet beyond your body, affecting everything and everyone around you. When you feel positive emotions like love, gratitude, or joy, this field becomes even more coherent and powerful. Imagine the difference. When your mind formulates a clear intention but your heart feels doubt, fear, or anxiety, you're sending mixed signals to the quantum field. It's like trying to tune into two radio stations simultaneously. The result is interference and distortion. But when your mind and heart are aligned, when you not only think about what you want to create, but deeply feel the emotions associated with already having it, you create a powerful, coherent signal that the quantum field responds to with remarkable precision. This mind-heart coherence creates what scientists call a state of psychophysiological coherence, a condition where your nervous system, cardiovascular system, hormonal system, and brain function in optimal coordination. Studies have shown that people in this state not only experience improved mental clarity, emotional stability, and physical health, but also demonstrate enhanced intuition and manifestation abilities. Think of intention as the arrow pointing toward your desired reality, while emotion is the bow that propels that arrow with force. Without emotional energy, your intentions remain weak, unable to gain sufficient momentum to manifest. But when charged with the powerful energy of positive emotion, your intentions become magnetic forces that rearrange the quantum field to bring your desires into physical reality. This explains why affirmations or visualizations sometimes fail to produce results. They remain intellectual exercises without the emotional component that gives them power. It's not enough to repeat positive statements if you don't genuinely feel the emotions associated with them. True creation happens when thought and feeling are perfectly aligned. But how do you achieve this powerful state of heart-mind coherence? It begins with mindfulness, becoming aware of any disconnect between what you say you want and how you truly feel about it. Many of us harbor unconscious negative emotions or limiting beliefs that contradict our conscious desires. These create energetic interference that blocks manifestation. Once you've identified any discord between your thoughts and emotions, you can work to bring them into alignment through several powerful practices. Number one, emotional clearing. Release stored negative emotions through practices like EFT, emotional freedom techniques, meditation, breath work, or journaling. These techniques help dissolve the emotional blocks that prevent your heart from fully embracing your conscious intentions. Number two, heart-focused breathing. By intentionally slowing and deepening your breath while focusing your attention on your heart area, you can quickly shift into a state of increased coherence. This simple practice has been scientifically proven to synchronize your heart rhythm and brain waves, creating the optimal state for manifestation. Number three, heartfelt gratitude. Gratitude is one of the most powerful emotions for creating coherence. When you feel genuine gratitude for something even before it physically manifests, you align your vibration with that of your desired reality, accelerating its materialization. Number three, embodied visualization. Rather than merely picturing what you want to create, fully immerse yourself in the sensory and emotional experience of already having it. Feel the joy, excitement, satisfaction, or peace that would accompany the fulfillment of your desire. This bridges the gap between intellectual intention and emotional resonance. When your heart and mind work in harmony, you become a powerfully coherent broadcaster of specific frequencies into the quantum field. Instead of sending mixed or contradictory signals, you emit a clear, strong frequency that magnetically attracts corresponding experiences. This coherence creates what many traditions call a state of flow, where synchronicities increase, opportunities arise unexpectedly, and manifestation seems to happen with ease and grace. What once required struggle now unfolds naturally, not because the external world has changed, but because you have changed your relationship with the quantum field that gives rise to your experience. The heart isn't just a pump circulating blood through your body. It's a sophisticated intelligence center that plays a crucial role in how you create your reality. When you learn to combine the directional clarity of your mind with the amplifying power of your heart, you become a conscious creator in the truest sense. Now that we understand the theoretical foundation of quantum manifestation, how consciousness interacts with the quantum field through the heart-mind connection, let's explore the practical application of these principles. How do you actually harness this knowledge to create meaningful change in your life? The process begins with presence. True creation happens in the present moment, the only point where your consciousness directly interfaces with the quantum field. Most of us spend our mental and emotional energy either rehashing the past or worrying about the future, leaving little creative power available for conscious manifestation. To access your creative power, you must first anchor yourself fully in the present. This means releasing preoccupation with what has been and what might be, allowing yourself to enter a state of heightened awareness where you become fully available to the infinite possibilities of the now. Meditation is one of the most powerful tools for cultivating this presence. Through regular meditation practice, you learn to quiet the constant chatter of your mind and enter a state of expanded awareness where you can more directly influence the quantum field. Research has shown that meditation actually changes your brain waves, shifting you from the beta state of normal waking consciousness to alpha and theta states, where the boundary between conscious and subconscious mind becomes more permeable. This is significant because your subconscious mind, which operates below the threshold of your conscious awareness, is responsible for approximately 95% of your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. It's also the part of your mind that interfaces most directly with the quantum field. By accessing deeper brainwave states through meditation, you can reprogram subconscious patterns and more effectively implant new intentions into the quantum field. Once you've established a foundation of presence, the next step is to clarify your intention. Vague wishes or general desires lack the coherence necessary to reorganize energy patterns in the quantum field. The more specific and clear your intention, the more precisely the quantum field can respond. When formulating your intention, it's important to focus on what you want to create rather than what you want to avoid or eliminate. Remember, energy flows where attention goes. If you focus on eliminating debt, your attention is still on debt. Instead, focus on creating abundance and financial freedom. With your clear intention established, the next crucial step is to generate the emotional frequency that corresponds to your desire already fulfilled. This is where many people falter in the manifestation process. They wait to feel good, until they see external evidence of their desire materializing. But in quantum manifestation, the emotion precedes the physical manifestation. It doesn't follow it. This principle was expressed by Jesus in the Bible when he said, "Therefore I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours." The key phrase is believe that you have received it, not will receive it, but have received it. This is the essence of quantum manifestation, generating now the emotional state that would result from your desire being fulfilled. How do you genuinely feel emotions for something that hasn't physically manifested yet? This is where the power of your imagination comes into play. Your subconscious mind and the quantum field don't distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and an actual physical experience. When you imagine something with full sensory and emotional involvement, you generate the same neurological and energetic patterns as you would if you were actually experiencing it. This isn't pretending or self-deception. It's strategically using your imagination to create specific neural and energetic patterns that the quantum field can respond to. Athletes use this same principle when they mentally rehearse a perfect performance, generating the neural pathways that support the actual physical achievement. Once you've aligned your thoughts and emotions with your desired reality, the final step is perhaps the most challenging: letting go of attachment to how and when your desire will manifest. This doesn't mean becoming passive or abandoning your intention. Rather, it means trusting the intelligence of the quantum field to organize the countless variables necessary to bring your desire into physical form. Attachment to specific outcomes or timelines creates resistance and constriction in your energy field, which blocks the free flow of manifestation. Paradoxically, the more willing you are to release control over the details, the more quickly and elegantly your desires can materialize. This release of attachment is facilitated by cultivating trust. Trust in the process, trust in the quantum field, and trust in your own creative power. When doubt or anxiety arises, as it inevitably will, recognize it as simply another energy pattern that you can choose to transform through conscious awareness and emotional regulation. Regular practice of gratitude accelerates this entire process by aligning your frequency with that of receiving and abundance. When you feel genuine gratitude for what you already have and for what is coming into your life, you create an energetic match for more things to be grateful for. Gratitude is both the cause and the effect of successful manifestation. Remember that quantum manifestation isn't about forcing reality to conform to your ego's demands. It's about aligning yourself with the natural creative process of the universe, becoming a conscious conduit for possibilities to flow from the quantum field into physical expression. The more you practice these principles with an attitude of wonder, playfulness, and appreciation, the more you'll experience the joy of co-creating with the infinite intelligence of life itself. As you begin to integrate these quantum principles into your daily life, you'll notice a profound shift in how you experience reality. What once seemed like fixed limitations in your health, relationships, career, or any other area reveal themselves as malleable energy patterns that respond to your conscious attention and intention. This doesn't mean that overnight you'll acquire magical abilities to defy the laws of physics as we understand them. Rather, it means you'll begin to operate within an expanded set of possibilities that were always available but remained invisible to you because of your limited perception. The first and most noticeable change will likely be in how you experience challenges and obstacles. Instead of seeing them as proof of your limitations or as reasons to give up on your dreams, you'll begin to recognize them as temporary energy patterns that contain valuable feedback about your own consciousness. Every challenge becomes an invitation to examine what you're broadcasting to the quantum field and to adjust your inner state accordingly. You'll also begin to notice an increase in meaningful coincidences and synchronicities in your life. When you're aligned with the quantum field, the right people, resources, and opportunities tend to appear at precisely the right moments. What might previously have been dismissed as random chance now reveals itself as the intelligent orchestration of the quantum field responding to your conscious and subconscious signals. Your relationship with time will transform as well. When you're struggling against reality, trying to force outcomes through sheer willpower, time seems to drag and progress feels painfully slow. But when you're creating from alignment with the quantum field, time often seems to compress. Things that might normally take years can sometimes unfold in months, weeks, or even days. Perhaps most significantly, you'll experience a profound shift in your sense of self. The boundary between you and the world will begin to soften as you recognize that both are expressions of the same underlying quantum field. You'll feel less isolated and separate, more connected to all of life. This doesn't mean losing your individuality. Rather, your unique perspective becomes a gift that you offer to the collective field, a specific vantage point through which the universe experiences itself. This expanded sense of self brings with it a natural increase in compassion and empathy. When you recognize others as extensions of the same quantum field that you are, the artificial divisions that create conflict and separation begin to dissolve. You realize that harming others is ultimately harming yourself, while supporting others' well-being contributes to the coherence of the entire field. Living as a quantum creator also means embracing responsibility in its truest sense, not as burden or blame, but as the ability to respond consciously to life. You understand that while you may not control every circumstance that appears in your life, you always have the power to choose how you respond energetically to those circumstances. This responsibility extends to monitoring and managing your internal state. You become aware that your thoughts and emotions aren't just private events, but energetic broadcasts that influence the field around you. This awareness naturally leads to greater mindfulness about what you're emanating into the world. As you continue to practice conscious creation, you'll discover that manifestation becomes less about acquiring specific objects or achievements and more about expressing your authentic essence. The question shifts from what do I want to have to who do I want to be and what do I want to create or contribute. This is when quantum manifestation becomes truly fulfilling, when it's aligned with your deepest values and highest purpose. Remember that becoming a quantum creator is a journey, not a destination. There will be moments of perfect alignment when manifestation feels effortless and magical. There will also be times when old patterns reassert themselves and you temporarily lose your connection to the field. This is not failure. It's part of the process of expanding your consciousness and refining your energy. The key is to approach this journey with patience, persistence, and self-compassion. Each time you notice yourself falling into reaction or limitation, simply acknowledge it without judgment and gently redirect your attention to the expanded possibilities available to you as a quantum creator. By consistently applying these principles, presence, clear intention, emotional alignment, trust, and gratitude, you progressively rewire your neural pathways and energy patterns to support conscious creation as your natural state of being. What once required deliberate effort eventually becomes second nature, your default way of interfacing with reality. This is the promise and the invitation of quantum living, to move beyond the confined boundaries of conventional existence into an expanded reality where you recognize yourself as the conscious creator of your experience. In this recognition lies true freedom, the freedom to choose, to create, and to express the full magnificence of who you really are. We've journeyed together through a profound exploration of quantum reality and conscious creation. We've discovered that the solid, fixed reality we once took for granted is actually a fluid, responsive energy field that mirrors our consciousness. We've learned that our thoughts and emotions are not contained within us, but radiate outward as electromagnetic frequencies that interact with the quantum field. And we've explored practical approaches to harness this understanding for creating meaningful change in our lives. But understanding these principles intellectually is just the beginning. True transformation happens when you begin to apply them consistently in your daily life. When you shift from knowing about quantum creation to actually living as a quantum creator. This shift doesn't happen overnight. It's a progressive awakening, a gradual reprogramming of deeply ingrained perceptions and patterns. Be patient with yourself as you integrate these new ways of being. Celebrate your successes, learn from your challenges, and maintain an attitude of curious exploration throughout the process. Remember that you're not alone on this journey. Throughout human history, wisdom traditions from around the world have recognized and taught these same principles, albeit using different language and frameworks. Modern quantum physics is simply providing scientific validation for what mystics, sages, and spiritual teachers have been saying for millennia. Consciousness creates reality. As you move forward from here, I encourage you to approach your life as a sacred laboratory for conscious creation. Each day presents countless opportunities to practice presence, clarify your intentions, align your emotions, and observe how the quantum field responds. Even small, seemingly insignificant experiences can provide valuable feedback about your state of coherence and alignment. As you build confidence in your creative abilities, you can gradually apply these principles to more challenging aspects of your experience. The key is consistent practice combined with compassionate self-awareness. Thank you for your presence and engagement throughout this journey. Remember, you are not a powerless speck in an indifferent universe. You are a magnificent expression of consciousness with the innate ability to shape your reality through the focused power of your attention and intention. The quantum field awaits your creative input. What will you choose to create?